Hello and welcome to Engine Adventures off-road review of this 2023 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. All right, we're gonna pretty much jump right into this thing. You guys are familiar with this truck, I'm sure. TRD Pro gets you these massive shocks with the little remote reservoirs there on the rear. Front also gets pretty significant shocks. We'll see if we can get a shot of that on the other side. And of course, you're gonna have underbody protection. This is a plastic skid plate over the fuel tank. Fuel tank is below the rails by just a hair, so maybe that's not as protected as it should be. Up front, you do get a TRD bash plate, and the exhaust there hangs down really quite low. That's pretty much the lowest point there in the middle. So as you high center, you're gonna be, should be right in here, but yeah, there's a good chance you can hit your exhaust if you're gonna be getting into stuff that'll high center you. So anyway, a few things to consider there, and I do wanna make sure and show the front shock coil over if we can get a good shot of it. Oh yes, and I believe these are aluminum because that looks anodized to me. So you have aluminum upper control arms here. That's almost flexed out as far as it can go with the shock there inside of there, the TR Fox shock with the internal bypass shocks. Anyway, so those are a few of the off-road features you get. Of course, you've got multi-terrain select, rear diff locker, and crawl control. And let's get into testing this thing. All right, high-speed off-road. We're in two-wheel drive, just in drive here, just how you'd be driving down the road normally. Yeah, so I forgot my suction cup mount, so no exterior footage on the truck. We'll get a couple of tripod setups, whatever, at least one, maybe two setups with the tripod, a couple images that way. But anyway, yeah, just how you'd normally be driving this thing. Let's see how it does. And for those of you new to the channel, for an off-roader, I expect roughly 20 miles an hour through this. A little bit slower right now, but keep those windshield wipers on. We're at 20 now. And so far 20's been just fine. Maybe it's a good thing we don't have the exterior camera. Lots of water on here. $25. All right, so I would say we averaged 22 to 23 through that. Pretty good for an off-roader. There's so much water this time around. I don't know why. It was kind of weird because I was out here last week at the Frontier. I guess it did rain a lot since then. I was trying to remember. I thought it rained before the Frontier. Anyway, it rained after the Frontier, so that's why there's puddles are all completely full out here now. Anyway, without those puddles, it could definitely go a lot faster. You know, you can see it spraying up. You shouldn't be driving through puddles like this. I know what's in them. I've driven through them over and over and over, unless someone has put something in them recently anyway. But you really shouldn't be driving through water like that. Just for this test on this known course, I'm okay doing it. But anyway, yeah, 22, 23 miles an hour. I bet without the water, we're up in the 25 mile an hour range. Not as good as the Colorado ZR2, but really not bad overall, and it's smoother than the Colorado ZR2 through all this. So the ZR2 can go faster, doesn't bottom out, top out really hard at all, but in doing so it feels a little bit more stiff throughout the whole range, whereas this is pretty smooth, and then the bottom and top out it does so quite well, but it's smoother in the regular range, and then as you reach the limits, it stiffens up quite a bit to prevent the harsh bottom and top outs. And with the remote reservoirs on these and whatever, you can run this all day long and not have any problems.
I think I can do better.
I'm deciding to be dumb. We're gonna drive through this water, and it gets pretty deep. About to the bottom of the door seal. So when you're driving through water, that's about how fast you want to drive. Talk briefly about how to drive through water. So don't just floor it. You want to go in fairly slow, keep it down 5 miles or less. I would say 5 miles an hour or less. And you just kind of create a little bow wave. And you can see that here. Got the wave in the front. And it keeps the water from getting up higher everywhere else. So maybe up against the radiator, or even in front of the radiator a little bit, is where that wave sits. And it protects the rest of the engine, because while it's deep in the wave, just behind the wave, it's not nearly as deep. And if you go faster, then you're just spraying water everywhere, pushing it up into the engine and the radiator fan, into whatever, electronics, and having high risk for damage. But if you're 5 miles an hour or less in general, just kind of create your bow wave and follow that through, you'll be just fine. Let's see how far we can get on this battery. We are in 4-wheel drive high, and that's it. So if you jumped in and started it and put it in 4-wheel drive high, that's how it would be right now. And we'll take the rough line. Not that there's an easy one, but there we go. Full throttle. Surprised that it's struggling that much. Okay, MTS says shift to 4 low. I'm gonna cycle through these. Yeah, it says shift to 4 low for all of them. We'll hit crawl control and it'll say the same thing. Yep, shift to 4 low. Okay, neutral, 4 low. Went in really quick, track off, and hit drive. So this is just 4 low, and it's just spinning. Traction control is off, and if I hit the button, it doesn't change anything up here. So we'll go ahead and hit multi-terrain select, and we're gonna go with the mud and sand first. Okay, that's just to get a feel. I could have made it out of that. Now we're gonna go all the way to the opposite end on rock mode, and I'm turning the dial up here. I don't know how well that's showing up. So now you can hear how much more aggressive it is. I'm not spinning the wheels. Jeez, seems to be really struggling here. I was not expecting this. Let's grab that. So we're 10 degrees sideways and about 15 degrees up. So I'm gonna get just a tiny start. I don't know what was going on there. There we go. Huh, I must have nailed that hole just right for this thing to be struggling that much, and I guess I did kind of dig in. So in rock mode, of course, and this is all with the rear diff unlocked. It's doing all right, but not as good as I would have expected. Oddly enough. There There we go. Part of that's my driving. I am pushing this thing kind of to the limits. So I turned off multi-terrain select there. That was the beep you heard. We're gonna hit, well, actually we're just gonna do first gear 4 low. So, get lined up here first, sorry. Whoa. Okay. We're in S1, 4-wheel drive low, rear diff's not locked. We're just gonna roll down this and see how we do. Let me get the cameras. This is a longer truck than the Frontier that we had last week, but not too bad. I need to throw my backpack down on the floor here. Okay, I'm still on the brake. Just so you know, this is not engine braking. And one more. There it is. Okay, off the brake now. Not bad, not as good as the Frontier, and especially here we're really picking up. I had to get back on the brake. I don't want to be diving off this too fast and smashing the front end. So anyway, yeah, gearing's not too bad. We'll throw the crawl ratio up on the screen. Did all right there. Okay, and now go back up it. We're gonna lock the rear differential and do nothing else. So we used rock mode last time. This time we're just gonna lock the rear up. Well, I guess I want to be not at this angle. I was gonna pull straight into it, but then I have problems with the rear end dragging. There we go. Okay. Locking the rear now. It's right here. There we go. Locked in, so I had to roll it just a little bit. Roll forward, roll back to get that to lock in, which is very common. Okay, rear locked, 4 low, MTS, traction control, those are all off. Sorry, let me clarify that. MTS and traction control, sorry, MTS and crawl control are off. Rear locker is on. My guess is right here. So even 4 low, rear locked, we're struggling here. Take crawl control, slow speed, let it do its thing. Crawled right up out of there. We do have the rear lock on. I hate the jerky motion. We're gonna go up to middle speed. There's a little bit less jerkiness. When you're climbing hills, it's better to be a little bit faster on the crawl control, like I just did, level 3. And yeah, crawl control works extremely well. In some cases, as you just saw, it works better than the rear locker because it controls all 4 wheels, where the rear locker locks 3 of them together essentially, because you have the center diff. Well, you have no center diff, and so it's essentially a locked center diff and locking the rear, but the crawl control can also simulate locking the front diff. All right, this time around, crawl control, lowest speed, and we gotta have this symphony of ABS and lurching. It'll smooth out a little bit as it gets steeper, I hope. There we go. All right. And this is where it really shines, is for crazy steep stuff. We're 20 to 25 degrees right now, and that's not percent grade, that's degrees, so that's close to 50% grade. And yeah, crawl control just handles this no problem. Even going down, if you need it smoother, if the terrain allows for it to be smoother, go ahead and up the speed a little bit. And even going up one level will make a pretty big difference. And I don't have all day, so let's throw this into level 5. And that equates not even to 5 miles an hour, so it counted as about a half a mile an hour per increment on there. So we're about 2.5 miles an hour, maybe even a little bit slower than that. But I lost it a little bit there, but yeah, anyway, not bad. Crawl control, one of the best systems on the market, especially the newer one that uses spherical valves. It works really, really good. Basically the same system as A-Track, it's just doing it automatically for you to set your speed, whereas A-Track, you're using your own foot to do that. So the rear's unlocked. I'm gonna hit crawl control level 3 or 4, and it's gonna climb this on its own. So my feet are off the gas and the brake. We'll slow it down to level 3 here in a minute. We could actually go 5 in this first section. Level 5 here. Okay, we're gonna go down to level 1, actually. So this is, or was, the hardest part. This is where I got stuck in with both the rear lock and not lock. I'm just curious. Crawl control's been deactivated. Okay, so yep, I thought that might be a little hard at speed 1. We're gonna go up to speed 3. Throw it back into drive, speed 3, let it go. Just missed it, so back up again to here. There we go. Try it again. We're crawl control still, speed 3, and hopefully do it this time. Still not gonna do it. So it says it's been deactivated, it's still trying. Super weird how that works out. And before it deactivates, it's like, it revs it up to 3,000 RPM, gives it the best shot it can do. Level 5, let's see if this is enough. I'm gonna break something, so let's stop that. Now, rear locker on. There we go. And level 4, we'll try that. And it just went right through it. I probably was slightly off angle a little bit. Anyway, all the systems combined together, of course, are your best option for when you're stuck and getting out of that kind of terrain, but really, it's quite capable. And I do like that Toyota gives you the option, you're in 4-wheel drive low, it disables all the other systems, and you can use the rear locker, so you're not relying on all the electronic systems to do everything. You've got pretty solid mechanical setup to get you through whatever situation you may be in. Thank you for watching Engine Adventures off-road review of this. Extremely capable, very fun to drive off-road. Just an all-around toy of an off-roader for this Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. This is a 2023, and yeah, it seems about the same as the previous years. I think the engine and transmission are tuned a little bit better. Does fairly well off-road. This may have been a little bit of the case of the tires this time. As you can see, they're caked in there. So maybe that was part of the reason I wasn't able to make some of those climbs that I thought I would be able to with the crawl control. Anyway, very capable vehicle. It's got all the systems. It's a good one to learn on because you can just go 4-wheel drive low. All the traction aids are off. No rear locker if you don't want it. And learn how to drive that way. Add features as you need them. You get stuck, throw on the rear locker, use crawl control, whatever. and it'll get you out of most situations that are regular. If you get into crazy deep mud and stuff like that, you're gonna have problems. But anyway, for those learning, this is a good one because it's got a lot of built-in fail safes that can get you out when your skill level doesn't. If you liked what you saw, be sure to hit subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos, and give me a thumbs up. Also, comment down below any questions, comments, whatever, things you want to see different, please let me know. And if you didn't like it, subscribe, ring the bell, give me a thumbs down, and let me know what you want changed. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.